205 Mystery of Love. Presence of God. O Jesus, help me to penetrate the mystery of your infinite love, which constrained you to become our food and drink. Meditation. 1. All God's activity for man's benefit is a work of love. It is summed up in the immense mystery of love which causes Him, the sovereign, infinite good, to raise man to Himself, making him a creature, share in His divine nature, by communicating His own life to him. It was precisely to communicate this life, to unite man to God, that the Word became incarnate. In His person the divinity was to be united to our humanity, in a most complete and perfect way. It was united directly to the most sacred humanity of Jesus, and through it, to the whole human race. By virtue of the incarnation, of the Word, and of the grace He merited for us, every man has the right to call Jesus his brother, to call God his Father, and to aspire to union with Him. The way of union with God is thus open to man. By becoming incarnate, and later dying on the cross, the Son of God not only removed the obstacles to this union, but He also provided all we need to gain it, or rather, He Himself became the way. Through union with Jesus, man is united to God. It is not surprising that the love of Jesus, surpassing all measure, impelled Him to find a means of uniting Himself to each one of us in the most intimate and personal manner. This He found in the Eucharist. Having become our food, Jesus makes us one with Him, and thus makes us share most directly in His divine life, in His union with the Father and with the Trinity. By assuming our flesh in the Incarnation, the Son of God united Himself once and for all with the human race. In the Eucharist, He continues to unite Himself to each individual who receives Him. Thus we can understand how the Eucharist, according to the mind of the Fathers of the Church, may really be considered as a continuation and extension of the Incarnation. By it the substance of the incarnate Word is united to every man mirae caritatis. 2. The plan of divine love, that is, the desire to bring men to God, and to communicate the divine nature and life to them, finds its supreme realization in the Blessed Sacrament. In the consecrated host, we have not only Christ's body, blood, and soul, but also the divinity of the Son of God, and, therefore, God Himself. What more potent means could God use to unite us to Himself, and to make us share His nature and life? Where could we find a more life-giving food than the body of Christ, which through its personal union with the Word, is the source of all life and grace? By giving Himself to us, Jesus nourishes us with His substance, assimilates us to Himself, and personally communicates divine life to us. Jesus also gives us grace, and thereby communicates the divine nature to us by means of the other sacraments too, but in them we have His action only, and that only during the reception of the sacrament. For example, when the priest absolves us from our sins, Jesus produces grace in us by His operative power. In the Eucharist, however, it is Jesus Himself who is the sacrament, coming to us personally in the integrity of His person, that of the God-man. When we receive the sacred host, we not only receive Christ's action in our soul, but we actually possess His person, really and physically present. We are given not only an increase of grace, but Jesus, the very source of grace. we not only enjoy a new participation in divine life, we possess the incarnate Word, who takes us with Himself to the heart of the Trinity. Furthermore, whereas material food is assimilated by the one who eats it, and is changed into that person's body and blood, Jesus, the living bread, has the power to assimilate and change into Himself those who partake of Him. Holy Communion, the body and blood of Christ, tends to transform us into what we eat, says St. Leo. And St. John Chrysostom notes Christ has united Himself to us, and infused His body into us, that we may be one thing with Him, as a body is fitted to its head. Such is the union of those on fire with love. R.B. Colloquy. O Eternal Trinity! O fire and abyss of charity! How could our redemption benefit you? It could not, for you, our God, have no need of us. To whom then comes this benefit? Only to man. O inestimable charity! Even as you, true God and true man, gave yourself entirely to us, so also you left yourself entirely for us, to be our food, so that during our earthly pilgrimage we would not faint with weariness, but would be strengthened by you, our celestial bread. O man, what has your God left you? He has left you Himself, holy God, and holy man, concealed under this whiteness of bread. O fire of love! Was it not enough for you to have created us to your image and likeness, and to have recreated us in grace through the blood of your Son, without giving yourself wholly to us as our food, O God, divine essence? What impelled you to do this? Your charity alone. It was not enough for you to send your Word to us for our redemption, neither were you content to give Him to us as our food, but in the excess of your love for your creature, you gave to man the whole divine essence. And not only, O Lord, do you give yourself to us, but by nourishing us with this divine food, you make us strong with your power, against the attacks of the demons, insults from creatures, the rebellion of our flesh, and every sorrow and tribulation, from whatever source it may come. O breed of angels, sovereign, eternal purity, you ask and want such transparency in a soul who receives you in this sweet sacrament, that if it were possible, the very angels would have to purify themselves in the presence of such an august mystery. How can my soul become purified? In the fire of your charity, O eternal God, by bathing itself in the blood of your only begotten Son. O wretched soul of mine, how can you approach such a great mystery without sufficient purification? I will take off, then, the loathsome garments of my will, and clothe myself, O Lord, with your eternal will. Saint Catherine of Siena,